Alright, so we have Ike Villanueva versus Marcin Prachnio. So Marcin has a 2-inch height and a 1-inch reach advantage. So Marcin, he comes in with that karate style, hands low, wide base, very wide base. He can be off balance pretty easily, finds himself off balance quite frequently when he is throwing strikes or when he is moving laterally. But yeah, he throws, a head kick. It is quite slow and quite laborious, but yeah, it is what it is. For Prachnio also, he will just kind of put his head down and just swing an overhand. He is quite open to uppercuts. Ike doesn't really throw too many uppercuts, but yeah. So if the opponent was to throw uppercuts, I think they'd catch him quite a bit. And he will chain stuff together with his overhand. Like he'll go for an overhand to a left hook, or a left hook to an overhand. But yeah, he is very open to uppercuts because he dips his head basically every time he commits to a punch. And for Ike, he likes to fight on the front foot. He's always throwing combinations when he does get in close. He will lead with the left hook quite often. And he kind of telegraphs his strike and entries that way because he looks to lead a lot with the wide left hook that he throws. So, it's just not an efficient way of closing distance. But yeah, once he does get a distance, he'll throw a 3-2-3, left hook straight left hook, or a counter right. When he's countering, he actually just doesn't lead with the left hook. He actually looks for, whatever punch they're giving him, which is generally the 2. But yeah, when he's leading, he's generally throwing the left hook first when he wants to close distance. And he keeps his head on center line basically at all times. How these guys win fights, so for Prachnio, he's got good volume, and for Ike, he's shown a good chin lately. Like, all of his KO losses were earlier in his career. Sherman TKO'd him pretty much to the body, though. The cut ended the Jordan Wright fight, so I don't think his chin's that bad, but it's not the best, but I think it's improved somehow. How these guys lose, so for Ike, it's the striking tendencies that we discussed, and for Prachnio, it's the striking tendencies, we already talked about it. Also the fact that he gasses after 1.5 rounds, basically, but, he will fight through the fatigue and keep the volume up, but, he does gas, and if you have someone fresh in front of you, unlike, Khalil Roundtree also gasses, but, it can get dangerous if you're going to be sloppy with somebody who is fresh in front of you. And his chin is just glass, in my opinion. It doesn't look like he can take a shot very well. Path to victory for these two. So for Villanueva, look to pressure Prachnio. Like, he's very uncomfortable in close quarters, so look to pressure him. Also look for uppercut when he throws the right overhand, because he's dipping pretty hard every time he throws it. And for Prachnio, look to throw a counter straight right, because you'll be able to beat him every time he looks to lead with the the left hook, sorry. Look to meet him with the straight right, the counter straight right, because you're going to beat him every time, because he leads with that wide left hook. You're just going to beat him to the punch every time. And look for leg kicks as well. Like, Ike doesn't check them at all. So how I see the fight going, so yeah, I'll be honest, I don't have a great read on this fight. Like, it should be a fun fight to watch. Both are pretty live to get KO'd. I wouldn't be surprised if someone gets finished. But yeah, just to make it interesting, I'll predict Prachnio just to out-volume Ike in a quite sloppy striking fight. Maybe a fight of the night, sloppy slugfest type thing. But yeah, I think Ike's only really good against opponents who press the action, which I don't think he's going to get here in someone like Prachnio. I think Prachnio is going to be pretty happy just to, stay on the back foot and land his punches at distance. And I don't know. I don't really have a good read on the fight, but it's pretty low level. I probably wouldn't bet this fight. I'm guessing the line's going to be like a pick'em, and that's pretty much how I see it. So yeah, we'll have a look at the betting lines anyway. Alright, so the prediction is Prachnio by decision, but I don't favour him that highly. I don't think I'll favour him that highly over anybody in the UFC, but it is what it is. Yeah, I wasn't looking to bet this fight, but maybe if Ike gets like $3, then that's way too wide. I think this fight should be closer to a pick'em than what it's at the moment. I think maybe Prachnio at 55% win rate. Ike isn't great, but Prachnio isn't either. But yeah, not looking to bet this fight at all though, so probably going to stay away.